On Cinema is back. I love this movie. Movies, money, financial investments. Quiet on set. It's On Cinema at the Cinema, Season 11. Your host, me, Tim Heidecker, President and CEO of On Cinema Productions. Hi, everybody. Shut up. Shut up. I'm going to get to you in a minute. My name is Tim Heidecker, and I am back in the driver's seat on Cinema, at the Cinema, back the way it belongs. I've got a lot to get to today, a lot to fill you in on.
A lot of movies to review.
Yes, and I'm going to introduce my guest in a second, Greg Turkington from the VFA.
Hey, guys.
I have to tell you, this has been a long road. It's been a road that you guys have been by my side throughout. It's a long story, I'll get into it, but it's the brief headline, the sort of main event is...
Abominable.
Yeah,
is the first movie that we're going to review today.
Let me take you back a few months. You know, this On Cinema family, this brand that I built over many years was robbed from me, was taken from me against my will by the Delgado family and the Delgado Media Holding, whatever the company was called. And I lost that battle. I didn't lose the war. The Delgados obtained this On Cinema property, and they put this guy in charge. And nothing happens. There's zero growth. Greg could not produce any content.
They wouldn't give me any studio time or money or anything to do
Well,
anything.
what do you think? Things are just given to you? You have to work for them. You have to present your case. So I analyzed the situation, my business team and I, we analyzed the company from outside. The first time I was really able to do that is look at the company from the outside perspective. And I saw a company, the Delgado company, that was, I felt that they were ready to get rid of this property because of the inaction that this guy took. He did not make any moves. You didn't see it on Cinema.
I was doing Popcorn Classics on Twitter every day.
How's that generating anything?
I was shooting my outside segments.
Quiet.
I have a new outside segment called Classic Movie Time that I shot, that I have about 10 episodes that we're going to see this season.
I'll get to that in a second, but here it is, folks. This is it. This is the big deal we made. This is the deal, the transfer of On Cinema back to its rightful owner, myself. This is Bruce Delgado, and this is something I worked really hard on. But everything I worked for all these years is now mine. What once was mine is now mine again. And so I think it's a great day for everybody watching. And you know, there's so much here that I haven't even gotten into some of the weeds of this. But we have, first of all, a letter from Greg Turkington disavowing the Delgados, which is a big step, and admitting some fault in that. And so you've signed that, and we are on our way.
Otherwise you wouldn't put me on the show. But.
Well, there are no terms and conditions. It was a blanket agreement. And so I want to thank all my advisors and everybody, and especially the Delgados, for realizing what they had was a rotten apple, and they cut the apple from the tree, and now it's mine. And I'm going to bring that apple back to life, and we're going to have a whole orchard. And 3 new movies reviewed each week, which is going to be a big improvement over the last few years. Nothing indicates that here.
But that's what you told me.
Yeah. And you know, speaking of independent financing, I want to thank a great company that I got involved with to make this happen, MoneyZap.com. MoneyZap.com is a quick bank, essentially. They're an online bank. You know, I was really struggling trying to find a way to raise the capital to purchase back what was mine. And I discovered, sort of just late night kind of Googling, you know, I just sort of searched fast cash now on Google. And that's how it became one of the first things that came up. And you got to check this site out if you're looking for fast cash. This site blew me away. I put in some basic information and credit card information and everything like that. And within minutes, I had $25,000 in my bank.
So if you take a loan from them, you have to do an ad for them too? Let's get to the movies.
No. I'm just giving some context here.
Well, you got the money. We don't care where you got it. Let's just do the movie reviews.
Within minutes, I got $25,000 with zero interest. And you know, I really feel you're giving me crap for taking time on this, but I really think they deserve some credit because they made today possible. No one else did. Get this shot. And we're back. Okay, we're going to get into our movies today, and the first
Abominable.
movie we're reviewing is Abominable, directed by Jill Colton and Todd Wilderman, casted by Chloe Bennett and Eddie Izzard and Saul Paulson. This is a story of a magical Yeti who must return to his family. This is sort of a story of snowmen and sort of big, almost like Bigfoot, but in the snow, kind of white hair with snow. And I did notice there was a lot of sort of winter elements to this movie, and different voices played throughout, and almost a movie for kids. Not exclusively, but I loved it, and I would give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Yeah, this is kind of a modern take on the old, I guess it's a myth or a legend. And to see what they did with it with today's animation technology is really pretty exciting. Just before seeing this, earlier that afternoon, I was watching the Jetsons movie, which is from about 1990, I think. And it was really interesting to see the vast difference in the animation quality and style. Both movies are great in their own way, but I think Abominable ushers in a new era of modern animation.
All right, well, let's...
And I give it 5 bags of popcorn, and we're going to do a little bit of a throwback. I'm going to give it also a little lucky rabbit's foot keychain, which I've given to other movies before, because a rabbit's foot almost looks like a tiny abominable snowman. If you think about it, the white fur and stuff, you could sort of use it to sort of pretend you had a little abominable snowman in your pocket.
All right. Next movie is called Judy, directed by Rupert Golb, starring Renee Z. All right. Zellweger. Zellweger. Directed by Rupert Golb, and Michael Gambon and Jesse Buckley. This is the story of Judy Garland after she arrives in London in the winter of 1969. And it's the story of Judy Garland, who is famous for being in a number of movies.
Wizard of Oz.
And so we have this was a great biopic, almost sort of like The Doors or a number of other biopics, Ray Charles movies, and these other kinds of Shine, I think was the name of one.
Bohemian Rhapsody that we covered last year.
Right, which Descartes did a terrific version of Bohemian Rhapsody, the song. Yes. Judy, this was a great movie. It's a sort of one of those, it's my Oscar pick. I think it'll definitely win Oscar Gold. Speaking of Rupert Gold, the director, sort of makes sense that gold begets gold, and that's probably why they put them in charge, put them at the helm. This is a great movie. Makes you think about singing. 5 bags of popcorn, easily, 2 cans of soda.
I got to say, when I was watching this movie, at first I was like, I don't think I want to see a documentary about a concert. That's not really a movie to me. But then when I heard that it was about Judy Garland from The Wizard of Oz, it all sort of clicked to me. And watching it, I think, is in a way to go back in time to The Wizard of Oz. They're there in Kansas, and you wonder what happened next. She got back to Kansas. What was the rest of her life like? Well, what if she became a singer? What if she took the influences of the Tin Man and the Munchkins and all these lovable characters that she met and incorporated them into her future life? So this is kind of seeing Dorothy, I guess, sort of at the end of her life and still singing Over the Rainbow. And that's why I loved it. And I think any Oz heads will also love this movie. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn because that's our highest rating. And I'm going to throw in 1,700 cups of soda because I love this movie so much.
Okay. Those are our movies today. I do want to take a second now and let everybody know that the documentary featuring me, starring me,
about the VFA.
is about, no, not about the VFA, is about my run for district attorney. Mr. America is coming to theaters in October.
October 9th.
It's going to be October 9th, going to be a huge movie. We look forward to having the director Josh Lorton on here and like
Josh.
this guy. director Josh. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but everyone's raving about it already and saying that it really is a nice piece
look
of
at
work.
the VFA and
Yeah.
sort of a time capsule of where the VFA was last year when they filmed.
What do you have planned for us this season?
Well, we've been working since this movie was shot, since we documented that phase of the VFA. Now we've moved into phase 2, which is the mobile VFA. So we actually have the entire archive now on wheels and taking it around and doing exhibits and sort of letting the public see what's available to them in terms of access to the archive.
Well, that sounds very boring. What I want to do right now is end the show, which we're going to do every week, is end it
with a classic movie time, which is my new segment. My new segment.
There's one guy that got me where I am right now, and that is the Creator, Jesus Christ, who's given me the power and the grace and the glory to proceed and do this the right way, which is how I got connected with MoneyZap.com in the first place, through prayer. But now,
and
if you talk, I'll break your finger. So I'm going to encourage everybody, whether you're believers or non-believers, whoever you are, let's take this moment together and enjoy a moment of silent prayer. Thanks for watching.
Then we'll see my new segment, Classic Movie Time, which is
just
sort of...
shut up and pray. Believe me, you need to.
We're going to do Classic Movie Time. Tim.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Heidecker. I'm the president and CEO of On Cinema and Dakar. I want to talk to you about a company called MoneyZap, a company that was there for me when I needed them most. Every small business owner knows that having access to capital is vital to keeping your business in operation. I found that out, and I'm using MoneyZap every single day. It's easy to do, signed up in seconds, provided some basic financial information, and almost immediately, I had $25,000 in cash in my account, just like that. MoneyZap saved my ass, and just might save yours. Thank you, MoneyZap. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema, the only show that takes a hard look at the movies coming out every week and gives you honest, informed reviews. I want to thank myself basically for putting out the MoneyZap.com commercial. This is not something that they paid for or even asked for. It was
Which
just
is
a
why it
generous
shouldn't be on the
offering.
show. What should be on the show
My guest is
Classic
Greg-
Movie
Okay,
Time, which is my new segment, which actually deals with movies and not companies that are completely unrelated to what we're doing here.
Well, I was going to introduce Greg Turkington from the VFA here is with us to review movies.
Hey,
He's
guys.
not here to talk about what I should or shouldn't do with the show. I did the commercial for MoneyZap.com because they are one of the main reasons you're here. It's the reason I'm here.
Classic Movie Time is the reason the viewers are here, because they want to get expert information about movies from days gone by as well as current movies.
They
that are not...
are the prime investor in this show. So how do you divorce that?
If you
I mean,
borrow money from someone that doesn't make, they've never even heard of the show. Go to their office and ask them. They don't even know what you're talking about.
you know-
This should be about movies, and that's what you promised to me when I agreed
Greg,
to come
you
back.
know, it's a public service announcement that I created for my audience so that they understand how MoneyZap works. I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart, and I have the
They
right to
didn't
do that
ask
because I am
for
the
it.
CEO and the sole owner of this company, and the only reason you are here is by the grace of God. And that right now, my friend, is me to you. So do your fucking job and
I
chill
did.
out on telling me what I should and shouldn't do.
I did my job. I produced a segment called Classic Movie Time, which
Well,
a lot of people are excited about, and you didn't air last week. So I did my job.
No,
And you need to do your job and actually watch some of these movies and review them on the show and not run commercials for companies that have
it's
nothing
not
to
a
do with
commercial. You
anything.
called it commercial again, I'm going to bust you in the lip. Now, you're here because I want to keep you on a short leash. They say the Bible says keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. And that
My
is
Bible
great
says
advice.
let's review some movies and
And
stop talking about
there's
money.
plenty of skeletons in your closet that I could easily reveal, that I have revealed, and I will continue to reveal.
Well, there's
So just
skeletons
play
in
by
the
the
closet
rules.
that you're about to find out, because by taking on the Delgado Holdings Corporation, you also took on quite a bit of debt that they had as well.
Hey,
So
no, first of
enjoy
all,
that.
You might know a little bit about movies, but you know nothing about business. And
Well,
let's
I was
move
working
on.
pretty
Let's
closely
move
with the
on.
Delgados before you purchased.
You want to talk movies?
I would love to talk movies. That's
All
what I
right,
said
the
at the
first-
beginning of the day, and that's what you promised that we would be doing. And then you hit me with this MoneyZap thing.
All right, well, our first movie today is The Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, starring Robert De Niro as the Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix, and Zazie Beetz. Okay? This is the story of the Joker from the Batman and Robin show from years ago, and
And the
this
movies,
is,
the Tim Burton movies.
yeah, well, that was played by, of course, Jack Nicholson. Now we have
Shining.
Robert De Niro playing him. So a little bit of a different spin on it. Still the same look, same makeup, same kind of, almost like a clown. You know, all he's missing is the red nose. But an interesting movie about how we got to meet the Joker in Gotham City. And another great movie from the Marvel gang.
Ant-Man.
And you know, you almost wish, it's one of the few times that you're rooting against Batman, because usually usually he's the hero, but in this case they sort of flipped the script a little bit. It's interesting to see, making sort of the Joker a little bit more of a likable character, and that's thanks to Robert De Niro, known for so many great roles. I give this 5 bags of popcorn. I think Robert is going to win another Academy Award here for his portrayal of the Joker. 5 bags of popcorn and
I'm going to
another
give
bag
it.
of popcorn, 6 bags.
Well, that's not. You can't do that.
What'd you think?
I think this is fantastic. It's De Niro at his best. I don't think he's made a movie this good in the last 10 years and maybe in the last 15 years. So I think that De Niro is definitely an Oscar pick. Never been better in this role. And Marvel has done it again. But I'm going to give this movie 5 bags of popcorn. And I'm going to throw in a little movie ticket. Not a memento of a movie ticket, not a souvenir ticket, but an actual movie ticket, which I hope is given to you so that you can actually see this movie. Because if you'd seen it, you'd know that Joaquin Phoenix plays the Joker, not Robert De Niro.
Okay, let's bring out, all right, he played a number of characters.
Not
over
the
years.
Joker.
All right.
So I've got a segment coming up. We're going to close out
Hold
the
on
show
that.
with
We're-
classic
hold on
movie
that. I got
time.
a special guest.
People
I
want
bring
to
out. Excuse me.
Okay, but we're going to see classic movie time
After
after
the
this
special
special guest because people have been looking forward to this segment. So
Okay, this is a person that's very near and dear to the On Cinema family.
Joe Estevez.
No, Joe couldn't make it today. I want to welcome back somebody who's gone through a lot, and he's given so much to us, and we're happy to report that he's back on his feet. A friend of the family here. He's done a lot of work for us, a great comedian, and a former employee of ours who's had some very difficult and challenging medical problems recently and more. Let me welcome him to the stage, and we're going to talk all about it, so stay tuned. Mr. Mark Porch. Let me say the name and then come out. Mark Porch, correct?
Porch.
Okay, now you can come out. All right. Good to see you, buddy. How are you?
Doing well. Feeling good?
Yeah, good. Take a seat.
Get here, Mark.
Oh, watch your head.
How did you get here? How did you get here?
Mark, I've asked you to the
didn't tell
show
me that
today.
you were
First of all, there's a lot I want to get to, a lot of questions I want to ask you, some serious, heavy stuff. But I want to start things off light. When I spoke with you on the phone, you said you're eager to get back in front of the camera and that you want to get back into doing your impressions. And you told me you've been working on some new impressions. And everybody's a big fan of the Mark Porch impression. So let's get into it, and quickly, because there's other things I want to get to. So you said you've been working very hard on a particular person. Who was that person?
The Carson show.
Johnny Carson. Okay? So let's see that now.
Could you do here's Johnny.
What's that?
Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
Hi, everybody. We have a really great show for you tonight. We have welcome.
All right, let's get to yes, very good.
Let's welcome out the star of the TV show Beretta, Robert Blake.
Yes. Thank you, Mark Porch. That's the beautiful stuff. So, Mark, I'm happy you're doing impressions again. They're very entertaining. I did want to let you know that I've been studying and following your case, your medical issues, We all know what happened to you. Everybody that watches understands that you had a medical incident and that you were incapacitated for a period of time. Do you know how long?
I mean, I know it was from the tank on my head.
Well, let me ask you this: who got you out of the coma? Who snapped you out of it? From your understanding, and you can be frank with us.
You.
That's right. Next question, and I know this is not easy. Do you have any records of the Medicaid billings that or checks that were sent to you throughout the time that you were incapacitated? Do you have any way of knowing how long how much money kind of came and went through the process, through the procedures, and through your time under, as they say?
I wasn't working or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let me assure you, friend, because you are a friend, and I am not district attorney, but in a lot of ways I am acting as one for a lot of people. I'm the CEO of a big company, On Cinema, and another, Dakar and everything else. And I have a lot of power. I have a lot of influence. And the good news is I've been talking with John Stoughton. Now, if you don't know who that is, you gotta look him up, because this guy is the leading expert on Medicaid fraud. And I've told him about your case, and he's eager to look into it. And I really just want to tell you at this point, first of all, I've always had your interest at heart. And at some point soon, I want to start a dialogue between the three of us and get to the truth and get this stuff exposed. Because there's a lot of people that took advantage of you.
No.
And there's been a lot of fraud, actually a lot of abuse. And we're going to find it all. We're going to open those window shades and get the light in. The light kills all germs, as they say. And we're going to get to the bottom of it and get you the money you deserve and some, because there's a lot of people who took advantage of you. So thanks for coming on the show, Mark.
You didn't tell me that you were doing this.
Okay.
We're going to be back next week with a couple of great, exciting
spend
announcements.
all that
First, a big,
money
exciting
on
announcement
your
about
food
the company
and on your care.
and some restructuring I'm doing that
So,
everyone's going to want to tune in to hear the
were you
breaking
talking
news
to
in
him?
that department. Secondly, we're going to have the great Josh Lorton, director of Mr. America,
getting
on the broadcast to
checks,
talk
but
about
I
his
was
new
using
movie,
it to
Mr.
care for you,
America,
so.
documentary that follows
This is
my
fraud.
successful attempt
Well, from
it was a successful
Medicare.
attempt at running for district attorney.
But that's
But
what
you
San
had a
Bernardino.
24-hour
Thanks
day.
for joining us today, folks. Let's end tonight with a moment of prayer.
No, because you had
Thank the Creator for giving us all the
You
gifts
had
that He gives us every single second of the day.
24-hour a day
Quiet,
care.
we're praying.
24-hour a day care.
Hey, eyes closed. Just sit down and pray.
I'll take you back. I'll take you back, but next time tell me if you're going to be popping in like this.
All right. I've decided to begin shows with the silent prayer as well as end them, because it gives me the strength to have a great show, and the prayer at the end is now reflective of the great show we just
And
had.
if you're going to take,
So let me
if you're
introduce
going to
the
take
show.
15 seconds
Shut
to
up.
have a silent prayer, I'd like to take 15 seconds to address the elephant in the room from last week,
Go ahead.
which was that I feel like you sort of sprung on me, putting Mark on the show without having told me that he was going to be here, and then these accusations and things that you're making about his
I didn't
care,
use your name once
completely off
yesterday.
base. I just like to say
Or last week.
I welcome you or anyone you have to come in and do an audit of anything having to do with Mark's care. The proof is in the pudding. Mark is well now. He's a productive member of society. I don't know how you think he was fed and cared for over the last year, but you're lucky that he's alive, and you're lucky that I was a good friend to him and took care of him. And it was very irresponsible,
I think John
very
Stoughton will get to the
irresponsible
bottom of all this, so stay tuned for his
spring that
report.
on me when we were supposed to be reviewing movies, and not some sort of weird hatchet job.
Well-
when really turn the hatchet on yourself next time, because it was your
You've had your
using
15
the
seconds, by the way,
you
which is a
used-
gracious gift that I've given you.
But rather
So
than
shut
hire
up
a real
about it.
scuba tank, he had a
we're
prop
not getting
scuba
into-
tank that was full of sawdust. There
we're
was
not
no
getting
oxygen
that.
in there.
We're not getting
That's
into
why
that.
he was.
Shut the fuck up! I have big breaking business news to report, folks. That's why my guest, Joe Estevez, is here. I'm going to bring it to you, the news live as it comes in. This is breaking business news on Cinema Properties, the investment opportunity that I regained only a few weeks ago. We are now restructuring the company in a major way. I have now created a board of directors, and I am going to be announcing the board of directors right now. I want to send a shame on you out to Josh Lorton, who has not returned my calls, the director of Mr. America. He was supposed to be my special guest today, so we had to bump him because he's not gotten back to me. I don't know where he is. He's off the grid. I don't understand it. I don't know what's happening with that. The big story
Is the new segment, Joe, on location that we're going to debut tonight.
I want to announce the On Cinema Board of Directors. Every great company has a great board of directors, and I think this one is bar none. They're going to help me focus the company to become profitable and really set our course for the next 5-10 years down the road. The announcement will begin immediately. First of all, my CFO, my Chief Financial Officer, Joe Estevez.
Wow.
He's with me today.
Wow, I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored. Well, thank
I've
you.
spoken to you about this on the
Well,
phone.
yeah,
so-
but it wasn't final. You
No.
know, well, all right. I'm glad it's official.
Obviously, I got to have my rock solid brothers of Dakar on the board. So Axiom and Manuel will be on the board of directors. And to round out the board, my close friend and security advisor, Michael Matthews, who is better known to Decker heads as LaRue.
LaRue, yeah. LaRue.
And so this is a strong board. They are, Joe, with your sort of sage advice, are going to steer this ship in the right direction, and we see a lot of growth potential for the company. And I see sunny skies ahead. Joe,
Oh,
what's your
absolutely.
financial projection for the next few quarters for On Cinema?
Well, you know, it's all about the financing, and we have to talk to a number of producers and big film companies. But already, you know, I kind of have inroads in that
And
direction.
also just
and,
restructuring the core financials of the
Yeah.
company will be sort of key to your job.
Yeah.
But Joe, I need you to, get in those books, get down into the muck, and come back to me with a financial report.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the movies.
And the new segment that we're debuting tonight, Joe on Location. This is something that I think On Cinema fans and Estevez heads are going to go crazy for. We've been working this one up for quite a while, so stick around. Let's get a look at it.
All right, do you want to talk movies, or we're going to keep prattling on about nonsense?
This is movies.
Okay.
So
First movie we want to talk about coming out this weekend is Gemini Man, directed by Ang Lee. Oh, starring Will Smith.
from Men in Black.
Mary Winstead Winstead, and Clive Owen, two first names there. An over-the-hill hitman faces off against a younger clone of himself. And this is sort of a sci-fi, I kind of call it a spy-fi thriller. And it's kind of got a mix of everything. It's got a little horror, a little sci-fi, a little spy-fi, and almost a little bit of humor, too, from Will Smith, who you never know where exactly he's coming from. And I love this movie. I give it 5 bags of popcorn, and I can't wait to see it again. I'm planning on seeing it several more times.
One time for each genre that it covers would be a good way to do it.
Spy-fi, that's a new concept that Joe, we should talk about how we can
I'll
exploit that.
make a mental note of that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith's great. Of course, Men in Black has been a popcorn classic on this very show. So we're all very familiar with Will Smith and what he's capable of. I think this is his best performance, if not the best performance of the year by anyone. You've had Bicentennial Man, now you have Gemini Man, and may its flag wave forever. This is a great movie, and I do believe there will be a Gemini Man 2, because this is the start of a great franchise. Thank you, Will Smith, and thanks to everyone involved. I mean, the whole clone thing, you had Star Wars Clone Wars, I guess is the ultimate clone movie, but you also had Double Decker, which made a splash in its own way and really kind of was plagiarized
Once
from
again.
in the making of this movie. Hollywood turns to
Once
Decker.
again, they dip into that pot. We've seen
we
it
agree.
time and time again.
If
And no
you-
one's doing anything about it. Joe, make a mental note that we
If
have to
you put
investigate,
Deck-
put it in the investigations wing of the company, is we got to start looking into how these Hollywood companies are basically pilfering from our stockade.
They get hold of the script. If you put the script side by side, some of the scenes in Double Decker, some of the scenes in this are, I got to say, identical.
Right.
So
Almost
that's
like
the
the-
real Clone War right there. I'm going to give this one 4 bags of popcorn because I feel that they did steal something from Double Decker. Then I'm going to give it the 5th bag for a total of 5 bags, but the 5th bag really rightfully goes to you and I as creators of the Decker series.
Sole creator Tim Heidecker of Decker, but I
Well-
appreciate the consulting you did on it and some of the supervising, whatever you did.
Nonetheless, we'll split the 5th bag equally.
All right, that's
And
fair. The next movie is The Addams Family, directed by Greg Tiemann.
I didn't direct it.
Conrad Vernon, cast by
I did
Shiraz.
direct Decker versus Dracula, but not the Addams Family.
Starring Charlize Theron, Finn Wolfhard, Chloe Grace Moritz. And this is just the Addams Family cartoon.
It's not just the Addams Family.
Well, it is, and this is lazy Hollywood once again coming back, and have no ideas. They just pilfer through old movies, and almost as the way they did with Decker with the Gentleman
Well,
Man.
that's the sign of a
They-
successful series. I
They
wouldn't say
just
it's lazy.
have no concepts. It's like going back to the buffet for the 5th time. You know what you're going to get.
So you wish there had just been one Star Wars, one James Bond, one of any of these great series?
to a point, but
One Jack Reacher? No. I mean, when you have something
But
good,
this isn't a
you
sequel.
want to.
This is a remake, and it's in the worst way because basically all you're doing is they took the original audio from the original Addams Family movie, which is a great Oscar-winning movie, and they just drew over it and used the audio.
I don't think that's what they did at all.
Essentially, it's what they did. And so, somebody should investigate that. It's another
Because
thing, Joe, if you want
it's
to look into
it's
that.
different actors. Raul Julia, I didn't hear him at all.
Joe, make a note, and I don't know why you don't carry a pen and pad with you
I
for this
will
stuff,
next
because
time.
the
Yeah,
ideas
yeah.
are flying out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if somebody needs to be,
Yeah.
you got to start keeping track of some of the plan, because
Absolutely.
I'm getting a little frustrated.
When this movie was first announced, The Addams Family, the original director was Tim Burton. And I was pretty excited about it, and I'm thinking that Burton couldn't get Depp. And so rather than make a Depp-less movie, he followed the petitions and sort of the movement that we started right here on Cinema, not to have Burton without Depp. And he said, if I can't have Depp for The Addams Family, I'm not doing it. That's how you ended up with a director.
Greg,
that-
2 directors, really. It's 2 directors is basically what you have to do if you can't get Johnny Burton.
So I've had some cross words to
Burton.
say against Tim Burton for blowing it with a Dumbo movie and not involving Johnny Depp. I take them all back. This time he made the right decision. And so I tip my hat to you, Mr. Burton and Mr. Depp, and give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Wow.
All right, so now I will quickly let you show the segment you shot with Joe as a favor to Joe.
This
'cause
is
it
one of the
seems
new
like you worked
segments.
very hard on it.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
one of the
well,
I'm
many.
loyal to my board,
I
and that's something that I think doesn't get talked about enough.
really appreciate this, guys. Thank
This
you.
is a new segment Joe and I have been working up. I have actually quite a few segments I've worked up over the last few months in preparation for season 11. This one is a new segment that we're going to see a lot of called Joe on Location, where we go with Joe and get sort of the inside scoop on some of these movies that he's done in the actual locations where they were filmed.
All right, run your segment and let's get out of this.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and actor Joe Estevez has stories about most of them. On Cinema presents Joe on Location.
Hey guys, we're here at Black's Barbecue in Austin, Texas, the site of 2013's Doonby. Let's let Joe tell the story himself.
This is the scene where the very last scene, Doomby, if you recall, was kind of like Jimmy Stewart's It's a Wonderful Life. And if things had turned out differently, I played this Dr. Reaper, a very successful doctor. But if it had turned out differently, in the last scene in the movie, I'm a raging drunk talking to myself here in the back of this bar in Terry Black's Barbecue.
Back to you, Tim.
Joe on Location.
All right, we are back, and interesting
Wow.
stuff, Joe. I always
thank
appreciate
you.
your perspective on everything. So tonight is the big premiere of Mr. America. Make sure you go check
The
out
VFA movie.
wherever you live. Go make sure you can get access to this movie. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We're going to go see it tonight separately. I cannot wait to see this movie and revel in its glory. It's going to be a glorious day. Let's thank God.
You might even learn something about the VFA when you watch this.
Let's thank
And we're all
God.
proud of you, Tim, really.
I'm
mean,
proud of
wow.
you, Joe, and thanks for being on the board, by the way. We're going to have a board
Absolutely.
meeting probably tonight or tomorrow morning. We're finding out the particulars of Axiom's schedule at the moment. So let's thank God, our Creator, for giving us. I want to do a vocal prayer right now. Now, usually I do a silent prayer. I want to thank God for giving us Josh Lorton, wherever he may be, because he is our guiding light. He has created this opportunity. Through his lens, he has created this once-in-a-lifetime experience to see what will be a future five-bagger, a future Oscar winner, Mr. America. Strong look at my
At the
campaign.
VFA.
Strike that, Lord, and know that we thank you for everything holy, and we thank you for everything good. Amen. And thank you
Amen.
guys, and we'll
Amen.
see you next week. Go check out Mr. America tonight everywhere.
All right.
Prayers.
Waste fun.
Hard.
Yeah, but you're cutting so much stuff that I brought in.
The
and
prayers
so
take 30 seconds. And
Well, a lot of my segments
no
are only
offense, Joe,
45
but that
seconds.
shit that you did with Greg, do not want to see that shit on this show again.
Well, you know, it was kind
Just
of
rattling on.
off the top. You know?
It is off
You
the
know,
top, and let's do things that are considered and thoughtful and planned.
if it has to
Prayer
do,
thing. What is with the prayer thing?
It's my
it's just cutting into
my guiding light.
movie reviews.
Well, okay, yeah. More power to you.
Thank you, Joe.
When I saw him, it was like I was seeing a ghost. Like every trigger I've ever pulled. "25 years ago, he took my blood. He made you from me. He's been lying to you the whole time. He told you you were an orphan. And of all the people in the world to come after me, why would he send you? Because I'm the best. You are obviously not the best. You're just trying to rattle me. I'm trying to save you! The whole point of this thing was to give you all of Henry's gifts without his pain. I don't want to shoot you! Mind if I shoot you?
Henry, has this ever happened to you before? Your own government trying to kill you?
Nah, that's new.
Everything that we've worked for is at stake. He has to die. He's your darkness. You had to walk through this on your own. I love you, Junior. Look what we created.
This has to be stopped.
You tell me who made you. I'll never tell you, son of a bitch.
I'm saying double decker.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker. Sort of a dark day here with the On Cinema family. I went to go see this so-called Mr. America with Tony, who you got to know a little bit in the movie after our broadcast last week, and deeply disappointed, I think would be the first
Yeah.
way to say it. And Greg's here with me. Greg and I have been talking about this.
This is
and,
one movie we agree on.
Yeah, and it was a real hit job. And Josh Lorton is, he's up on that high list of rats. I talk about rats. We talk about D.A. Rossetti and others. But
Axiom and Manuel.
no. Nobody's more loyal than them. First of all, let's get it out of the way. 0 bags of popcorn from me for Mr. America, directed by Josh Lorton, starring Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington and Tony Newman. And there isn't much I want to say about this except avoid at all costs. This is so full of mischaracterization, so full of lies, so full of, you see in the movie that I specifically tell Josh what he can and can't use. Forget what I signed. There has to be a level of respect towards me that he just blew through.
He shouldn't have used any of that footage that he secretly filmed of you, especially when he had stuff that
Oh,
was
that's completely against the law.
It's against the law, but he had stuff that was totally legal that he filmed at the VFA. Hours and hours of this stuff that was completely legitimate to use, and he didn't use that. Instead, he uses the stuff that's illegal.
Well, it's all out of context. And if people could see the raw footage, first of all, they wouldn't see any VFA footage, because I do know for a fact that he didn't shoot anything at the VFA. If you could see the entire...
You weren't there.
If you
He
could
shot-
get the raw...
he
And
shot
I'm
with
asking
me
Josh...
for a
Shut
day.
up. I'm asking Josh Lorton, should he be watching me? First of all, if I ever see you in the flesh, it's going to be big problems. Okay?
Well, I want to get the footage
But
back and cut my own
second of all,
documentary about
I'm-
the VFA and the work that we're doing. Because he took that footage under false pretenses and he didn't use any of it. You got 1 minute of me talking about the Oh God stuff, but I had a whole hour of that stuff. And he said, oh, this is really good stuff and we're going to use it.
I don't
And
care
then
about
it's,
that.
It's 1 minute.
You can take a break and just catch your breath. Here's my message to Josh Lorton, who I trusted, who I treated as a son and led into my life for nothing. Okay? My message to you, Josh, is do the right thing, release all the footage, and let America, let the world see the true story. But you're a coward, aren't you? And I happen to know stuff about you, Josh, if you're watching. I know a lot. And we're going to see how that goes. We're going to see how that develops, because I
know that
the
he didn't
keys
know
to the
anything
kingdom.
about the Oh God
Folks,
movies until I educated him about it. He's supposed to be this director. You should have a background in cinema. You should have taken some courses at least.
I'm going to bring out...
And I thought, well, this is good. I'm educating him about all this classic cinema so he can make classic cinema of his own.
Well...
And he did nothing of the sort and basically wasted
What's your
my
review,
time.
by the way?
I'm going to give it 3 bags of popcorn. It's definitely a very, very bad and very disappointing movie.
Right. So stay away, and hopefully there'll be a hero out there who will take care of Mr. Lorton, and we'll see who that is.
And who will rescue some of this footage, which no one's ever seen anything like this behind the scenes at the VFA, and also just learning about some of these classic movies. We went through the shelves, and I took some of these movies out, and I told the stories of the movies. It's almost like Popcorn Classics, the movie. Popcorn Classics, the movie. I must have talked to him about 50 different movies in great detail, expert information that we never have time for on this show because we're too busy showing commercials for Money Zap. He got all this great footage, and then he just poured it down the drain.
Well, we are looking at a lot of options. I have the board convening tonight. I know Joe is still going sort of through the books and examining what we need to do, but I want to bring out, after we review our other movie today, I'm going to bring out Michael Matthews, my Chief Operating Officer, a.k.a. LaRue, and Head of Security for On Cinema Incorporated. And we are going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do about Josh, and whether we double down on our Money Zap loan, get some more liquid in, and we could look into that actually. It's actually an idea Joe had, that we actually raise more capital and potentially try to buy the rights to the film, and then we can have all the footage and we can recut it and get it out there, get the true story out there. So we're looking into that. Let's get into Maleficent.
Or even we could just redo it from scratch and just go back in. I mean, I probably don't want to talk about the same 50 movies that I already talked about with him, but we do 50 different movies and see how that comes out now that the format is established.
All right, so stay away from Mr. America. The movie everyone should see this week is Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Directed by Jock, casting by Allegian Jolie, Ellie Fanning, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Maleficent and her goddaughter Aurora begin to question the family ties that bind them as they are now pulled apart by impending marriages, unexpected allies, and new dark forces. This is Maleficent. It's the story of Princess, the original Snow White, and this is a great movie. And this is the movie people should be running out to see. It's another Disney classic, and it's got a lot of interesting story elements to it. I love this movie. Everybody go to see that. Don't go see Mr. America.
And it's a sequel. I don't know if you saw the original, but this is definitely one of those cases where the sequel,
5 bags
in
of
addition
popcorn.
to being,
5 bags of popcorn for Maleficent.
which sometimes the
2.
sequel is the second movie. You have the 2 in it, and the 2 should almost indicate how many times better it is than the original, because this is twice as good as the original. This is basically Sleeping Beauty meets Lord of the Rings. It's just great to return to this sort of fantasy world that we all aspire to inhabit. You've got the fairies and the pixies and some of these creatures and characters that really make a movie interesting. The kind of world where characters like Bilbo Baggins reign supreme. Although he's not in this movie, I feel his spirit is in this movie. And if you're a Hobbit head looking for a quick fix, this is your chance. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and a little sprinkling of pixie dust on top of the popcorn, which will sort of transport the popcorn into the realm of the fantastic.
All right, well, let's bring out our next guest. He is a On Cinema board member, COO, Director of Operations and Security for On Cinema Enterprises.
And we're going to see today the debut of Classic Movie Time, which is a segment.
We're not going to be doing that today.
Well,
We don't have
no,
time
because
for
you
that.
postponed that.
I want you to switch for Michael.
We need more movie experts.
AKA LaRue. So, Michael,
that
thanks
know
for joining
nothing
me
about
on the show
movies.
today.
Good, my brother.
I know it's been a busy couple of weeks. You're just getting up to speed. And, we have a lot to get to. First of all, your feelings about having seen Mr. America now and seeing how we can address the security concern we have right there with Josh Lorden. What we're
Absolutely.
going to do about that.
We're going to do whatever you want done.
That's right.
You the man. You the boss. I got
And
your back.
you've been sort of turning me on to sort of these this concept of who's really running things. Do we see evidence of that with Mr. America now that we have the film distributors now sort of dipping into kind of that alliance that you're so concerned about?
I got some people working on that.
Okay. So the reason I asked you to be here, we're going to introduce a brand new segment on cinema on defense.
Here they come to break us down. Here they come to take the ground. Keep the wolves from the door. They've done before. Fighter, soldier, defender. It's the final gas.
And you're a defense weapons expert. You're a weapons expert. You have a lot of familiarities with firearms and everything.
Correct.
All right. So what we're going to do is just kind of feature this. Hopefully, is something we can do every week. We're going to feature a firearm. And folks, people ask me like, how do you square this with some of the Christian religious stuff here? First of all, it's right there in the First Amendment. It is all about freedom to protect the right to bear arms in the First Amendment. Look it up. And also, when you look at Scripture, we can easily find many references. I was looking at Luke. We all love Luke, one of the great gospel writers and apostles. And this is from Luke. I just pulled it out, but you can look it up. It's in the Bible. And it just says simply Luke 11:21. We all know this one. When a strong man armed keeps his homeland, his property is at peace. That's Luke talking. That's one of the guys that knew
Cool hand, Luke,
Christ.
with Paul Newman.
And a number of other places where they say you got first thing before anything else is protect your family, protect yourself.
That part.
And when somebody like Josh Lorden comes around, I have to sort of protect myself in ways that aren't sort of I might have to do some preemptive self-protection. Don't you think?
Right. Yeah, you
So-
can meet them kind of people.
So let's take a look at our featured gun of the week, and this is tell us a little bit about this baby right here.
That's a Glock. This one you want to use for up close and personal.
All right. Greg, these are not loaded, by the way. Nobody's a bigger expert on this than you, and so you've assured me. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can do this because it's not loaded.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's nothing going on here. I mean, can't tell if there's anything in there, but you would normally be able to know that this is not something to be trifled with. Yeah, I have a little experience with this. Obviously from Decker, you see me kind of coming in with a gun like this. But this is, I'm just so grateful that you're on the board now. He sent me a terrific long memo, kind of an email form called The Road to Civil War. And you're sort of seeing the future and how we are heading towards a major civil war.
Oh, yeah.
And that those who are protected, those who carry, those who believe in the First Amendment to carry arms are going to be the victors eventually.
Yeah.
That's really valuable stuff to know. And what a great person to have on my side in this, because you know so much about this. And so this is just a great weapon to have. We're going to be talking about other weapons on the show. And, combining those two things, the strong faith and strong loyalty to the company, and, frankly, strong defenses. Those are the three kind of key elements.
That part.
Yeah. So I want you to look into Lorton. First of all, we need to get all the info.
Okay.
And then we have to kind of get a battle plan.
Okay.
Don't you think?
We got several options for you.
Yeah. Michael, you have to silence your phone.
I had a phone.
You gotta turn that off? Okay. We'll be back next week with more on cinema and more reviews. This is the seventh time I've asked you to just keep the phone offset. There's no reason to have it on.
No problem.
All right. Seems to be a problem.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Well, we don't want to miss it. You know what I mean?
I know. You got to keep your finger on the pulse, but just for the few minutes that you're here, leave the phone in the dressing room or wherever.
No problem. The boss.
I'm going to do a prayer.
Shit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I am your host, Tim Heidecker. With me right now, I actually have the deal with the Delgados, which I'm, the more and more I kind of get into the weeds of it, turning a little more into the deal with the devil, which is ironic because Delgado in Spanish is devil. So we are learning more and more about this, and I bring it up today because my board met last night and we discussed the sub-agreement I have with Greg here, which stipulates a VFA-specific episode of the show. And so today we're going to be turning things over to Greg to give some VFA updates. Excuse me. I just want to also point out, fans of the show might understand that it does mean we are seating our reviews of our movies Black and Blue and The Last Full Measure because of time issues. So I just want everybody to make note of that we are turning things over to the VFA in accordance with these documents I signed with the Delgados and Greg Turkington. And it's unfortunate, but we must be beholden to the documents. With that said, after he's done with his VFA bullshit, we will return with some actually interesting information for you shortly. So with that said, I'll now turn it over to Greg with his VFA announcements, whatever it is.
Hey guys, it's movie time! I'm here with the VFA, Victorville Film Archive, as you know, to this point has been the world's largest curator and collector and archivist of classic motion picture and popcorn classics. And I'm here to announce sort of a new era for the VFA. Don't worry, we're not reducing things, we're actually getting bigger. We've expanded into a new program called VFA Classics. This is a series of videotapes of classic movies that we have acquired the rights to and are releasing in collector's editions that you can own and collect and add to your archive. Every one of these movies comes complete with producer's commentary, which I'm doing as a producer of the series and expert in these movies. And we are unveiling our first 6 titles right now.
Excuse me, I just ask you a question about this, because I don't want to get in trouble here. How do you have the rights to these movies? How do you?
It's totally 100% legal. They're public domain. The movie's copyright holder failed to renew the copyright, so they went into public domain, which means any reputable film company has the right to release these things. And hopefully, when they do release them, they find the best available prints, as we have done, and add some bonus features as we have done. So we do have the rights to these movies.
And I appreciate that. And I'm sorry to interrupt again. I just want to clarify something. What's Mark's role in this? Why is he here? Why is he wearing a VFA
Mark has
shirt?
been appointed Vice President of Sales and Acquisitions, so he's an important part of our team and really in getting this whole ball rolling.
That's interesting because I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, Mark, why in the past few days you've gone quiet about the investigation that we've launched into your health and your safety. And as you spoke a few weeks ago, there was assurances from me and from John Stoughton that there was going to be a serious investigation into how you were treated. And you promised me candor, and you promised that we would have access to your records and we would have access to your files about, who paid for
you
what.
said this was going to be the VFA
I know,
time.
but you brought him here, and I'm just telling you. And
His health, look at him, he looks great.
You'll have all the time in the world.
And he's got a job.
Listen, I'm going to give you all the time in the world to go through all your stupid videotapes.
Well, you
I'm
said that,
telling
and then
you-
now you're talking about this crap again.
Sure, anything you want.
Let's start now,
I've
then.
got to deliver a message to Mark right now because he has been stonewalling me. He's been stonewalling John Stoughton. He has not gotten back to me. And I'm concerned that whatever you're dealing with him is obstructing the investigation that we've started.
There's nothing to say.
There is a
He's
lot
never been
of
healthier.
questions that have not
He's
been
never
answered on this,
happier.
correct? And something's wrong with him. Something's off. And that's why John has to speak with him.
He's 100.
That's why
he's
John needs access
101%.
to the information.
His doctors say he's 101%.
Well, why haven't the doctors been in touch? Why can't we why John Stein's been trying over and over again? He sent Mark emails, he's called him, and we're not getting information. And you have not sat down with John Stoughton as well.
I don't have any obligation to sit down with your guy. The fact is, Mark is at his healthiest, his happiest, and his most productive. And he's part of our team, which is becoming quickly a major force in the distribution of classic motion picture titles.
Well, I'm going to give you this, and you can take it however you want. And if I were you, I'd take it as a warning that my head of security and operations, Michael Matthews, is now talking with John Stoughton. All right?
So what? I'm not worried because we've done everything right, and Mark he's so happy right now. You should see him in the morning. He's very, very happy. And this job that he has has a lot of room for growth because we're starting with 6 titles. We're going to expand. And by the end of the year, we will be up to 100 different titles that we have lined up for release in this series.
All right. Well, all I'm asking is, Mark, you have my number. You have John Stoughton's number now. You have Mike's number. Okay? Reach out to us. Return calls.
He's busy.
Or
He's busy
email.
with this.
That's all we're asking.
He's busy with this. So we're going to give you guys a sneak peek of one of the titles in the VFA Certified Classics series. This one so far, and it's still a fresh series, this one has been our biggest seller. It is The Affairs of Cappy Ricks. Mark, if you could just cue it up. As you'll see, every title in the VFA Certified Classics program has baked into it some, no, you put it in the machine. That's the job I told you that you would have. Has baked into it the producer's commentary. So you can learn some expert information about them as you watch them. Each title comes in a deluxe clamshell case, just like videotapes used to, and comes with a complete list of credits, running time on the back cover, the director, producer, in this case it's Pandora Berman and Greg Turkington for VFA Certified.
You produced this movie?
I produced this reissue of this movie, so yes.
We don't have to see this. We could just, I'm trying to.
No, this is the sneak preview. When you go to see the movies, you get a sneak preview. People love it. A lot of people think that's the funnest part of the evening out.
Nobody thinks that.
Hey guys! If you're looking at the screen right now, and I'm sure you are, you're looking at the title card for The Affairs of Cappy Ricks. If you haven't seen this film already, you're in for a treat. This is one of the great movies of the 1930s. Original screenplay by Lester Cole, as you can see, based on a story by Peter Kine. And here's some of the other credits. Costumes by Eloise. I guess when you're at that level of costume design, you don't need a last name. And of course, some actors also go by one name, such as Madonna, when she makes movies as an actress rather than as a singer. Walter Brennan stars in this. Really quite a career. He's sort of the Joe Estevez of the 1930s in terms of the numbers of the movies that he made. His character, coincidentally, was
Kingman, not Kingpin, but Kingman. H.E. Kingman was the character in Smoke.
All right, well, that's enough of this.
Of course, here's the opening scene. Cappy.
Let's. We don't want. If you want to see more information about, give your. We're not showing this whole thing, right? Mark, turn it off.
You said 5 minutes.
I'm not going to show 5 minutes.
You
Turn
said
it off,
5
Mark.
minutes.
Turn it off.
You said 5 minutes.
Huh? Turn it off! All right? We don't need any of this shit anymore. Get out of here. Wasted enough time on this trash anyways. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. We got time to kill. All right. I'm glad I didn't have this ready when they were out here because I might have used it. But this is our On Cinema Gun of the Week, our segment On Cinema on guns, on defense.
Here they come to break us down. Here they come to take the ground. Keep the wolves from the door. They've done before. Fighter, soldier, defender. It's the final cast.
And this is a beauty here. This is the 357 Magnum. Greg would love this. This is from the Dirty Harry movie. You can see I just bought this at a gun show last week, and really a classic. This is kind of the thing that would stop anybody in their tracks. You could blow a door down with this thing, and almost can kind of conceal it. Obviously, I have a concealed weapon permit concealed weapons permit, and just feels good, heavy as hell, and packs a punch too when you shoot it. So I had a lot of fun with this gun this weekend. I went down to the shooting range and just got off a lot of some issues I'm going through. And what a powerful machine. All right, this is the 357 Magnum from the company is Magnum. Magnum makes this. So condoms company or the ice cream company. All right, thanks everybody for checking us out. We will be back next week with more On Cinema at the Cinema. Thanks for joining us. Let's say a prayer. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm Tim Heidecker. Big breaking news that I want to get to right away. My guest is Greg Turkington. We're going to get to him in a few minutes after we make this breaking news. The past several weeks, we've discussed On Cinema Incorporated, the company, and it's been really interesting and really challenging to with my great board of directors to reorganize and refocus and plan the future. And what happened in the past couple of weeks is we really took a hard look at where we are as a company. And I'll get to the sort of the bad news and the good news. One of the big changes we're making is our friend Joe Estevez is no longer the CEO, the chief financial officer.
Good, now he has more time to make movies.
Joe really gave it his best and, just wasn't really up for the task. It was not really a great position for him. It wasn't really playing into his strong suit. Obviously, great actor and a great...
That's what he should be doing.
And a great friend. And I thank him for all the hard work he put into it, but in a lot of ways he took the company backwards and created a little bit of a lot of entanglements.
Okay, so that's the update for the On Cinema Board of Directors.
The good news is we have brought in Tony Newman, who will be our new CFO. And what Tony's brought in the past couple weeks is really revolutionary thinking about the future of the company. And one of the big moves that we're making is we are restructuring the company entirely. And we are now announcing and launching a new company called HEI, H-E-I, HEI. And that is going to be an umbrella company representing several interests. We have, of course, the entertainment sector, but also energy investment. And that's a big thing that Tony's bringing to the table, along with political consulting. But using our resources and our capital in investing in things like clean coal and investment.
All right, but
in these
I get to
companies.
show two of my popcorn classics or
right,
this new segment because you've taken up so much time on
I was very loyal to the deal we made last week. This is a very big day for me and Tony. And we're very excited to share with you this promotional film that we've made for High. This is High. High Inc. is a multi-platform corporation that serves as a holding company for the portfolio of intellectual properties and brands under the Heidecker Properties concept. High is committed to bringing the best quality as its subsidiary companies have done for years. High Inc. will strive to do better. We will strive to achieve great success and become one of the biggest companies, maybe a Fortune 500 company at least, bigger than Ford and bigger than IBM. And we have a terrific board of directors for High Inc. Finally, our company's under one roof with the success of High Inc., featuring nothing but success thanks to projects like DKR. The future is now. High Inc. will be the future company that takes us into the future for the next 5 years. You'll see us succeed beyond anyone's highest expectations. Welcome to High. What was once mine is mine again. All right, so that's a little glimpse at the future.
Okay.
It's a little glimpse of the future.
But for that, you owe 2
I don't know
episodes of
anything to you, by the way. I know
classic movie
nothing
time.
to you.
Because it's been, we're on
I
episode
fulfilled
6 and we
my
haven't
contract
shown-
with you last week with your garbage VCR tapes.
I'm not talking about the contract. I'm just talking about what the viewers want, which is to see classic movie time because we
Do you
haven't
want to hear
seen
about
one
these
all
movies that are
season.
actually in theaters instead of your garbage?
I don't want to
Let's
hear you
begin.
talk about them.
Terminator.
You never have anything to say
you don't want
about
to talk
it.
about Terminator. All
No,
right.
I
well,
want to talk about it, but you
Here
asked
we
if I
go.
wanted to hear you talk about it. I never want to hear you talk about it.
All right, let's get into it, folks. One of the great things about High is we can do movie reviews. We can also do all kinds of other things. So, Terminator,
won't.
Dark Fate, directed by Tim Miller. Casting by, the stars are Mackenzie Davis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, great Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator, and Edward Furlong. Sarah Connor, we all remember Sarah Connor, has returned from far away, and she's gearing up with a team of agents, almost like Decker, who will fight against T-1000. This is the Terminator is back, bigger and better than ever. He's almost like back in the old day, he would say, "Big, I'll be back." And he is back. He's made good on his promise. And we are thrilled to have Terminator back. And I feel like this is just the start of something new with him as Arnold Schwarzenegger begins the road back to the movies. And I think it's an Oscar pick for me. I think Arnold will finally get that long-coveted Oscar that he deserves. I'd love to have him on the show to talk about it. Arnold the Governator. If he's listening, watching, you're welcome on my program anytime. One of my absolute heroes. And would be great to have somebody like Arnold on the board. So Arnold, if you want to become part of the board of directors of High, give me a call. You can always contact me, and I'll provide my phone number.
Okay, enough about High. How many bags of popcorn?
All right, well, listen, this is a no-brainer. This is a 5-bagger, absolutely 5 baggers, and 2 glasses of ice-cold Coke. Next movie. Oh, go ahead.
You know, this is actually the 6th Terminator movie, so they're creeping up there. Watch out, Police Academy. You're going to lose your spot in the Guinness Book because Terminator's at 6, and when they get to 7, they've tied Police Academy, and when they get to 8, they've surpassed it, and Guinness Gold is theirs. In the Terminator movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as you pointed out, for once with something accurate, his line was, "I'll be back." But it's Edward Furlong who should have said, "I'll be back," because he was in Terminator 2, and we haven't seen him again until Terminator 6, and now he's back. So kind of an interesting little Easter egg there for all the Terminator heads. I'm going to give this Terminator movie T5 bags of popcorn because I can't give it T6 because we don't give 6 bags of popcorn. So T5 bags of popcorn for the Terminator
Motherless
6.
Brooklyn, directed by Ed Norton, casted, starring Bruce Willis, Willem Dafoe.
Die Hard.
And Ed Norton is almost doing the whole Woody Allen thing where he's starring and directing.
And I had a Die Hard shirt on
And almost
last week that you didn't even mention.
And this is set in the 50s. where Lionel Esrog, a lonely private detective with Tourette's syndrome, ventures to solve the murder of his mentor and only friend. And almost when you combine this sort of Norton as writer, director, Brooklyn, 30s or 1950s, you almost do get this kind of Woody Allen movie. And, you know, Woody has been kind of quiet lately. He's not made a lot of movies, taken some time, personal time, to do whatever he does.
Which is make movies.
Which you should be making movies. Usually in the past you have 2 Woodies a year. And now we see that kind of creeping, slowing down. That happens with age. He could have dementia, he could have other more serious elderly diseases. We don't know. And we're not getting a lot of info from the Woody camp on this. So we're looking into that. And Michael LaRue is now looking into this and finding out what happened to Woody, because we miss his humor. And
Sure, he's working on another movie.
Motherless Brooklyn, directed by Woody Allen. Ed Norton. I give it 5 bags of popcorn, a great movie about an interesting subject.
And this movie is interesting because it feels like an old-time movie, like you mentioned. Feels like what they used to call film noir, which those were black and white. This one's in color. So some things do get improved upon during time. I love the old black and white movies, but sometimes when you watch them, you do wonder. Say a movie from 1956, a film noir. A lot of film noirs should have been in color because the technology did exist. They've had color motion pictures since 1939 with The Wizard of Oz, which was the first color motion picture. And we reviewed Judy on the first episode of the season. I'm going to give this 5 bags of popcorn, and I'm going to throw in a set of paints so that you can color a still from a black and white film noir full color and experience it that way too, as you do with Motherless Brooklyn.
All right, and that's our show. We want to end. We've been kind of negligent on prayer, but you had one thing.
And yes, before the prayer, I just wanted to take a look at our first chance to see Classic Movie Time, which I do have the segment queued up. And then also I have prepared, at great expense, a commercial for the VFA Certified Classic series that we talked about last week. So let's just run those 2 things.
And before we do, I'm just going to announce that I'm going into my prayer now during this segment. I have no interest in watching it. So we'll just get into that.
Hi everybody, it's Mae West. Why don't you come up and see me at the North Hollywood Farmers Market? Every Sunday, where the VFA will be presenting its new collection, Film Buffs Archive.
VFA Classic.
VFA Classics. Penny Serenade. Cappy Ricks. The Affairs of Cappy Ricks. Cabinet of Dr. Calgary. Love Laughs at Andy Hardy. Gulliver's Travels. Father's Little Divided.
Dividend.
All produced by Greg Turkington with commentary by Greg Turkington. Get all 6 available.
All 6 available now.
All 6 available now.
Hundreds more.
VFA at the Sunday Farmers Club
Market.
Film Collection.
Hi everybody, Tim Heidecker here with another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I want to start today with a reading from Psalms 144. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. That's the little words of wisdom from Psalms, the Bible, part of the Bible, one of the chapters in the Bible. It's something that keeps coming through my head as LaRue states, we are headed for a civil war, and everyone should be armed and ready for that. All right, let's get into the show. My guest is Greg Turkington from the Victorville Film Archive.
From VFA Classics.
Yes.
We actually have a new release that I wanted to give you the first copy of, because I think you're going to actually like this.
Okay.
This is a 4-pack, actually. This is the most deluxe release we've done yet. I was doing some research and found the incredible news that one of my all-time favorite movies, A Star is Born, was in the public domain. And so I said, why not make a 4-pack with all 4 Star is Born movies?
That's a good idea.
And the 4-pack kicks off with the original Star is Born. This was 110 minutes and starred Walter Brennan. That's the one that started the Star is Born phenomena. Of course, Judy Garland, the original Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, took it to the next level in the 175-minute 1954 version. Also in the 4-pack, who could forget 1976 with Chris Christopherson, Barbara Streisand, 175 minutes again. So that's 2 different Star is Borns that are 175 minutes, all the way up to the new one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Also 107, well, I think that's a mistake, actually. And this is from 2018, Star is Born. So it's a Star is Born 4-pack, retails for $100, and we will be selling these online and at the North Hollywood Farmers Market on Sundays.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That one has the newest Star is Born out. I'm not sure how you get away with selling that.
Well, because if you look at the list of public domain movies, you see A Star is Born is listed. Look it up on Wikipedia under public
Well,
domain
right.
movies.
This Star is Born maybe, but anyways, good luck with the.
And I also have a present for you because I feel like we've gotten off to a bad start for this season. And when I saw this thing through one of my sources, I thought, you know what, I could wear this, but I think I know a certain co-host who would like to wear it a lot more. So here you go.
Well, let's get into the movies. Midway, directed by Roland Emmerich, cast starring Woody Harrelson and Luke Evans, Mandy Moore, Nick Jonas. The story of the Battle of Midway, told by the leaders and the sailors who fought. This was a World War II movie about Midway, really one of the most important battles in our fight against Nazis in Germany. And sort of, in Germany you had the sort of different battles. You had the Tom Cruise movie with Saving Private Ryan, and you had
Schindler's List.
And Schindler's List, another Tom Hanks, and then you have the Battle of the Bulge and other momentous things. This one really focuses on Midway area in Germany, where you have sort of the two forces, the Japanese and I won't say the Japanese, the French and the Germans fighting. It's interesting to see Woody Harrelson, not Woody Allen, in this one. And not a lot more to say except, this reminds me of those 5 bags of popcorn. And I need your review very quickly. Maybe you just give me the bags because we have a lot to get to today.
Well, I was going to say Midway is actually an island. Germany's a landlocked piece of land.
Yeah.
So Midway is actually the island between United States and
right.
Japan. And then you have Hawaii and, of course, the Midway Islands.
Well,
so, this was a remake
yeah.
of the 1976 Midway, which starred Henry Fonda, whose son Peter Fonda just passed away. And, of course, you have Jane Fonda as well. She's not in this movie. Neither is Henry Fonda. None of the Fondas were in this, but Henry was in the 1976 Midway, which was the original. Some say the best, others like this better. This does have a Quaid in it, so you still have that family dynasty thing going in it. It's Dennis Quaid, not Randy Quaid, who stars in the 2019 Midway, which is the longest film I've seen this year. And for that, I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and I guess a stopwatch. Although hopefully with a stopwatch, those usually only go for an
All right,
hour.
thank you.
And
we get that.
a movie that I would like to see would be more than an hour, so you'd need to
Most
actually
movies are
activate
more
the
than an hour.
stopwatch. 3
Arctic
times.
Dogs, directed by Aaron Woodley, starring Jeremy Renner, James Franco, Angelica Houston, and Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin. Swiftly, the Arctic Fox works in the mailroom at the. This is a dog movie, animated.
Foxes aren't dogs.
Almost like the movie we reviewed earlier, The Abominable Snowman, which was a great movie. And this is almost like sort of the unofficial sequel. It came out right away because I think of the success. They just kind of always have these movies on the back burner, ready to go. So 3 cheers to the Arctic Dogs, 5 bags of popcorn. You're giving it?
I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn, but I did want to say, I think Hollywood, this is the year they've discovered ice as something that you can see on screen. It creates sort of a white screen. So if you go to an older movie theater, some of these dollar movie theaters, sometimes all that white ice, then you see that the screen needs repair, which I've seen actual pieces of tape and things that I never noticed with other
Very
movies,
good.
but I did see when I saw Abominable and also this film. So
Wrap it up. 5 bags of popcorn.
5
from
bags
Greg.
of popcorn and some, I guess, white tape, because if you're going to tape a flaw in the screen, don't use a Band-Aid. It's going to ruin it
stuff.
for everybody.
All right, major news now to report regarding the continuing restructuring that goes on within High Incorporated. One of the sectors we were looking at over the past couple of weeks has been Dakar and DKR, in fact. So I want to get through some interesting stuff, developments there. If we welcome out my lifelong friends, great, my rock and my other rock. I got 2 rocks, almost like between a rock and a hard place, but not with these 2 guys because it's exactly where I want to be. It is with Axiom and Manuel. I haven't seen these guys in a long time. You move down, move now, move. Come on.
Just leave.
Hey, how's long has it been? How's it going? Great to see you, buddy.
Nice to see you. Welcome back. Nice to see you, man.
Welcome back. Everything good? Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
You're looking
Thank you.
good. Always looking good. We're restructuring everything, top to bottom. It's sort of a big like jigsaw puzzle, or almost like a chessboard, trying to figure out the best way forward. First of all, the future's never looked brighter for Dakar and DKR. The one big sort of shift we're going to make is sort of in the personnel department. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I feel like I have a way to take Dakar into the future, far into the future, with a burst of energy, and I want to welcome. This is big news, and I think you're going to be very excited about it. I want it to be a surprise. I think you guys deserve it. I want to introduce the newest member of Dakar. I call him LaRue, Michael Matthews. You guys have met, or I think you guys have sort of been around each other at some events. Hey, what's going on, man? Go sit down, Michael. I call him LaRue, and I think what Michael is bringing is an urban quality to the group, which we certainly don't have. He's also bringing an intelligence of the now, lyrics of now. He's a rapper, and he's got a message that I think is important. And I think the combination of my music, your, skills, and this energy, this urban energy, is what is going to take. It's what we need to get us, onto that next level. So, I hope you're excited about this. I think it's a great move. What I did, LaRue and I got together and just figured out a whole new sound, I guess. And this is basically the world premiere of our new song. And this features Axiom on guitar, and I think a little bit of Manuel on guitar as well from some old sessions. This is Empty Bottle 3.0. Let's take a listen. It's a world premiere.
swoop. Don't listen to the MSM. Look around, who's funding them? When we go one, we go all. The government is due for an overhaul. Roy LaRue, just answer Q. What you gonna do when they come for you?
Emergency information delivers to the entire world. We are cracking down on the leaks of world-power globalists, and it's time to send a message to the world that is holding. The storm's coming, folks! It's about the truth. Fake news. They don't want you to know the truth. See, they only tell you what they want you to know. Down. Get this one down. No. And this is the world premiere release party. So here's to the future of Dakar, the future of DKR, and cheers, sir. And let me get just sort of first reactions from, because this is the first time Axe and Manuel, I believe, are hearing that track. What was your first reaction? Give it to me straight. How excited are you about the future of Dakar? It's cross-genre in a way because it's got an appeal in the streets and it's also the rich kids and kids going to the beach, or whatever, Manuel, give me shoot from the hip. What do you got?
I don't know. I mean, adding somebody might kind of unbalance the whole thing. We had a kind of good chemistry.
We still do. That's the beauty of it. If you look at it, the chemistry's there with LaRue, kind of adding that spice to it. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, but I was good. Mm-hmm. I was before.
All right. Well, interesting. Not the reaction I was expecting, but obviously we're going to get a lot of fan mail from you guys out there who went nuts for it. So. Greg, anything on this?
I don't like it, but I didn't like the original either.
All right. We'll be back next week with more movie reviews on Cinema, presented by High. Let's Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, the CEO of High Incorporated, and I am joined, we have a different guest today. I'm joined by the acting CFO of High is Tony Newman, who's with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Greg Turkington is on assignment. I believe he's going to be sending us a field package that we may or may not play, depending on time. So before we get into the movies, Tony, I wanted to check in with you. I think a lot of people out there are curious about the state of the company. Obviously, we had big breaking news last week where we released the new Dakar single with LaRue featuring some rap. So that was exciting, and I think that we should see some movement. I think people sort of bubble up. But you have now spent the past few weeks investigating, almost should be LaRue's job investigating, but you've been sort of, doing a forensic dive into the financials of the company. And, obviously Joe Estevez left you a little bit of a mess. But, you know, I want you to be honest because I think there's a lot of people out there who care about the future of this company. And hopefully one day we'll be able to invite you in as investors. We'll go public and all that stuff. That's what we're aiming for as part of that 5-year plan. But we have not really spoken about this.
No, we have
So
not.
I want you to be, you know, direct with me. Where are we at? I mean, how's my concept of growth looking, and where are we at?
Well, Tim, I do need to be honest with you, and I'm assuming our viewers, so everybody is aware of where the company is. You are correct. Joe Estevez was not on top of the finances of this company.
Yeah, I wanted that to work, and it just, you know, I got such a big heart for him, and
Yes.
but maybe he'd be suited for some other like media relations or public relations or something. But just the financials, the sort of the accounting, the nuts and bolts is just not his.
Well, I don't have really positive news at this point. You purchased this from the Delgados,
Correct.
and unfortunately, they had a lot of debt when you bought their company. And now that debt has been transferred over to you. And I'm
Well, I mean, I should have the documents here.
Well,
You
the
see
documents
the-
probably were not looked at carefully because once you buy a company, all the debt is transferred to the new owner.
Not in California.
Well, apparently it is. Their debt is
What is
now.
their debt? They can't just transfer over debt that they accrued throughout however many. You know, they only had the company for a few years, so I'm not sure how
Well,
that
I
even
believe
plays out.
there was some fine print in here that you might have missed. Had I had an opportunity to look at this, I might have been able to save you a lot of headache on all of this. Tim, do you know a man named Rafael Torres?
Yes, he was my usurper in the On Cinema Oscar special. We call him Daffy Raffy.
Daffy
Almost
Raffy.
like Daffy Duck or whatever. He was a big-time bad loser guy who just tried to be the host of the show and failed miserably. He was brought on by the Delgados, and you know, I came in and you know usurped. He usurped the throne, and in a way, I came back and usurped it back.
So here's what we're looking at. Rafael Torres had started a lawsuit against the Delgados.
Okay, well, yeah.
Right.
All right.
But once you bought the company, Tim, I really wish you would have asked me about this. I would have helped you with this.
Okay, well.
So he is now.
The good news is he wasn't suing me because there could be a
No.
claim on that because I used mace or pepper spray on him.
Yeah,
which
well,
I had to for self-defense.
he was
but-
going to sue you, Tim, but you didn't have any money. But now that you've acquired this company, everything has been transferred to you.
All the ownership of the
ownership, the debt, and being sued.
No, that can't transfer over. That's a suit between him and the Delgados.
Well, you bought the company. The lawsuit is now against you because you are the rightful owner of the company.
I mean, in a way, but I don't know about technically because if they sued them, why would I have anything to do with that? I mean, first of all, I can't believe I'm hearing Daffy Laffy, whatever. This is the first time I'm hearing his name in almost a year. This rat, that lawsuit's now in my lap.
It is in your lap.
It can't be illegal. That has to be illegal. That
Well,
can't
here,
be allowed
you,
in the state
Tim,
of California.
you hired me to look at the books.
I know, but I'm challenging you because
Okay.
I have to push back on that because there's no way that would hold up. If
Well,
she's, you know what I mean? If what you're saying doesn't make any sense, but go ahead.
Well, what we're going to have to do most likely is we're going to have to hire an attorney and we're going to have to sue them now because you signed the
I mean,
paperwork.
that's an easy one because you know there's evidence that proves my self-defense, and you know obviously the cops were there, they saw everything. I think we just throw that one out. I mean that one's
Well, it's not going to be that easy.
Okay.
He is claiming that you injured his eye when you sprayed him.
Okay.
He's lost a little bit of some of his eyesight.
You know,
so we're
there
going
is
to
a
have
fair
to deal
amount,
with that right
you
now.
know, now that I'm going through the documents, you see, yes, there are things here that do mention the Rafael Torres lawsuit and the.
And I'm so sorry to have to tell you this. Like I said, I didn't discover it. I just happened to give
No,
me the.
I understand. You're coming in late on
I'm
this.
coming in new, and so we have another problem.
Oh my God.
This is another really bad error. Okay, have you ever heard of a company named MoneyZap?
MoneyZap.com, yeah.
Right, you took a loan out from them, correct?
Yes, we took a loan out, $25,000 loan. That was sort of the saving grace of this whole thing, was that MoneyZap provided the initial capital, the
Yeah.
liquid funds, so I could get the company back. That was a big, you know.
But there is a little bit of an issue with that too.
And the beautiful thing about it was that, you know, it's a 0% interest rate when we agreed to it, and that's incredibly generous, and also has taken some of the weight off of the books, you know. sort of
Well,
taken the weight
Tim,
off the-
that's the other thing. We need to talk about that interest rate. I looked through the documents. Apparently, you did this online without anyone reviewing it or having
I
an
reviewed it.
attorney present.
Well, I'm an attorney, so.
Well, did you read the paperwork? when you
Well, there's
signed
all
of that?
online, so it was one of those read and accept, you know, scroll down, it goes pop down to the bottom, accept.
Yes, but Tim, you had 30 days free interest. You did, in fact, have that, but
And some, however
Well-
long it takes to pay for the loan, that's where the zero.
unfortunately, there is a time limit. It was 30 days.
Okay.
After the 30 days, you started to accrue interest, and it's very, very, very high.
Okay.
300%.
On $25,000.
So every payment you make,
This is good to know because I was really, you know, we were close to looking at, getting another MoneyZap loan just to keep things.
we're going to
going.
have to. Did you sign all the paperwork?
I just clicked yes, yes, yes. You know, I just get the money.
So they
and,
did. You never met with them in person.
No, there's all online. It was very easy.
Well, right now you are in massive debt.
Okay.
So you've got three issues here. You bought a company that was in debt, that was being sued. You took on the debt. You took on the suit. So now you're in debt. You're being sued,
Well, the company, not me.
which puts us in crisis. We're going to lose a company,
Well-
and now you're going to owe this guy so much money in interest. So we have to come up with a plan. Do you have any suggestions on that?
Well, I mean, hopefully the DKR.
Do you have any stocks you can sell?
Well, yeah,
or-
the board is, considering that. I think, as you say.
Yes, we'll have
And
to have a.
Their problem there is you got people like Axe and Manuel. I mean, I'd love to sell them stocks. They just don't have any money to buy them, So we're a little. That's the sort of catch-22 of the whole thing.
I mean, as much of a nice person Joe Estevez is, perhaps there's some liability there.
You're saying because he was so careless that there is some
There might be
negligence
some,
there.
There might be some liability.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. And again, not being an attorney,
Right.
but looking at the financial records, there was foul play on everybody's part.
Yeah.
And they pulled the wool over your eyes.
I
and as a
agree.
result,
Yeah.
I mean, you're just such
Well,
a
also,
trusting person.
I mean, you got to look at MoneyZap and wonder where their humanity is when they're coming at me with apparently what you're saying is a tremendous interest rates, which is completely illegal, and
Well, if-
that's shocking to me that they're still
Yes.
able to do it, and I think we should expose that through the Exposed series if we need to.
We might
I don't
have
want to go that route.
We're going to have to take everybody to court at this point because
Absolutely.
Delgado pulled the wool over your eyes. He did
Well-
not disclose that he was being sued by Rafael Torres. That in
As
and of
far as we know,
itself.
I mean, there is mention of it, that is included, but that should almost been up to, should
Yes.
have brought up higher. or
It should have been
something.
brought to our attention or
Yeah.
to your attention at the
Specifically,
time.
yeah.
So right now, as CFO of this company, I feel the responsibility to find a solution. We need to turn this around. We want to save the company. Isn't that what we want to do? Save the company. So we're going to have to, we'll look into selling some stocks.
Yeah.
We could hire an attorney.
Yeah, we'll
Unless
have
you
to,
want
yeah.
to handle this pro bono for yourself. I mean, I would like to take a look at the online profile,
Yeah.
if I may, and then perhaps we can find a loophole there. That might be helpful.
Yeah,
So we're going to have to figure out how to get ourselves out of this.
yep, okay. All right,
Any suggestions? or
well,
no?
we'll talk about it later.
We're going to have
I gotta do the
to.
movies.
Okay.
Um,
So sorry to
No,
put
it's
this
just,
on you.
it's a lot, and,
Yeah.
we should have done this offline or privately.
Well, maybe we can edit it later.
Charlie's Angels, directed by Elizabeth Banks,
Mm-hmm.
which we saw together last night.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Banks, Naomi Scott, Kristen Stewart,
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart, too. Kristen Stewart's son or somebody related to each other. This was a cute movie. We liked it. We had a lot of fun watching that. And
I mean, I enjoyed it.
yeah, it had a lot of drama, or a lot of action. Kind of took your mind off things a little bit. And of course, based on the TV show. And a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, that's we'll give it. I'll give it 5 bags of popcorn. And how about you?
I mean, it was entertaining for sure.
Okay. Let's roll the Greg thing because I got to get out of here. We have a lot of work to do.
This is the complete collection now. But we have the rights to release all these now, and so we're
You
trying
do?
to. Yeah.
Victorville.
So these 6 titles we've licensed out now, and now we produce these tapes for sale.
So how many people still buy videotapes?
Most movie buffs.
Oh,
still buy
movie
videotapes,
buffs. Yeah.
You can't get these titles on DVD.
Okay, well, here.
Sometimes you can see them on TV, but this way you can watch them whenever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. We used to have videotapes as well.
Abraham Lincoln from D.W. Griffith is the next title to be released. Right now there's 6 so far, and hopefully by the end of this we'll have hundreds. And we also do consulting to help people build their own film library, sort of giving you information where you can get these tapes and recommending the tapes that would be most suitable for your schedule or for your interests. And then we have a coding system too, so that when you do have the collection built up, that you can access the tapes more easily.
I get it.
Titles coming soon.
Hundreds more titles coming soon to the VFA.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Heidecker. Welcome to the On Cinema Debt Forgiveness Special. This is an emergency board meeting I've called to address the very serious problems going on with the company right now that Tony brought to our attention last week. I'm doing this publicly so the audience can understand the situation we're in. It's a very serious situation. Thank you for coming at short notice. We have one board member who's not available right now. Just for the record, LaRue, Michael Matthews. LaRue is on an investigative assignment right now. He's going to try to call in and join us because this is an all-hands-on-deck moment for the company. I'm doing this publicly. I'm doing it for the audience here so they can understand how serious this is. We will get to the reviews, hopefully. I have not seen the movies, but we can talk about what's out there because that's what this show is all about. You guys have all been briefed from Tony about the state of the company right now, and we need to start really getting creative about what we're going to do because, as you explained last week, we are in very, very serious debt and very serious trouble. Well, let's kick it to Joe. Joe, I mean, you kind of inherited a lot of this mess. But I can't say here in good faith that you made that you made it better. In fact, the way Tony's telling me is that you made it a lot worse because it's sort of like, of the way cancer kind of can spread if it's not treated. It metastasized under your leadership as CFO.
Well,
and I'm not. This is not a taking the back of the woodshed meeting. It's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
But I want to get that out of the way. And now I feel like, as long as you remain on this board,
Yeah.
and you have to step up and contribute solutions.
Well, Money Zap is very difficult to get a hold to try to refi this deal and to try to get the the interest lowered a little bit.
Well, Money Zap-
I finally did get a gentleman on the phone after a week and a half of just getting a message machine back and forth, and it was just answering service, and he told me to call back Monday morning.
I mean, I did such great work for Money Zap earlier this season where I, made these great commercials for them and really spoke highly of them. And Money Zap...
They never paid you for the
commercial I
commercials
did. That's a good
that you
point.
did before.
Mike, here's the play, and I think this is a good time to do this,
Yes.
is Money Zap, this is to you, whoever you are. Now, we all make mistakes, and I was sort of led to believe through your website and all this sort of, how easy it was that I was going to be able to basically borrow this money and pay it back at some other point. It wasn't going to cost me anything. So I'm asking you, and, I guess I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you to forgive my debt with you.
We were misled by Money Zap,
Right.
and Tim was not aware of that.
Right. Okay.
So
Here's your problem. You're going in circles with stuff we know.
you're right. We need a
And,
solution.
And
Yeah.
I need ideas, and that's why I brought you here. That's the purpose of this, is
Get a solution.
get solutions.
And
And
get
I'm
it
talking,
now.
let's just, just like let it all out, whatever.
Okay.
If you have an idea, say it. Manuel, I'm kicking to you.
Yeah, we gotta find solution to figure out how to get out of that, make some money.
Okay, well,
I second that. I mean, we need a solution.
Yeah, we gotta find.
I think, no disrespect, Joe.
Yeah.
I know nothing was done intentionally, but if you could kick in some funds just to help us get back on our feet.
Well, look, I'll put this on the table. I am willing to throw in some personal appearances for Tim, sign some autographs or pictures, whatever.
Maybe we could sell some stocks. Maybe as a board.
well, that's a good idea. If I would offer you guys, let's say 1,000 shares at, $100 a share. What is that?
Lots of money.
It's a lot of money, but
So that would be $1,000 each to get the stocks. Let me just throw this out there because it's kind of another question from Money Zap. It's a direct question for them is either, you have two choices really. You can forgive the debt, the original debt, or give me the opportunity to get another debt or get another loan and sort of, I know you kind of end up doing a little bit of a shell game there, but if that gives us, that loosens us up so that we can continue to push through this, right?
And I hope LaRue is out there
He has to be.
trying to find some phone number that's good that we can actually talk to a person,
I can contact Money Zap as well, find a number, reach out to them, and if they can forgive the debt, also forgive all the interest that they charge.
Well, that's what, I mean,
Yeah.
No
if we're
interest.
talking about debt forgiveness, it's got to be the whole deal.
Across the
Yeah,
board,
it
of
can't be-
course.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to have bad
Press. I mean, at this
Exactly.
point, it's got to be bad press for them.
But I think offering him some kind of something in return, like maybe personal appearances by Tim,
I'd be happy to
show up for
do
him.
anything like that. And by the way, I want to get to this, and it's not in here. First of all, Rafael Torres, and also Josh Lorton, who is two people that I think have created a big mess for us. Obviously, Rafael Torres has put the lawsuit out there, and that's still percolating. And LaRue has done a terrific job and has gotten Rafael Torres's personal, his home address. And I don't want to do this because I do believe in privacy and everything, but we are going to provide that address. We're not going to do it right now, but the message should be clear to Rafael that could easily go away. I could either put it out, or not. And that goes for Josh as well. So that's the message out there is we have the home address, we have actually more information as well, phone numbers and email accounts and everything.
One more thing we can do, Tim, is file. We can file a countersuit against you, Rafael, for fraud because you're suing over injuries that have not even been proven. So I think
Well,
that
we can give a
that's.
seeing eye test, or we can give him an eye test.
I think we need
take him down
to,
to
yeah.
DMV.
So I can
And,
take care of that. I can get that going, and
All right,
we'll
well,
counter Sue.
I want to move things along now. I want to talk about, let me get this. This is the stuff we were working on last night.
Yep.
You know, just whether or not we get this debt forgiveness, we hope we do. Tony and I were kind of taking the red pen to the company and where we can scale back and refocus. And, you know, the big flashing red light right now is Dakar. And that's, Tony made the case very eloquently last night. And, you know, first of all, from a financial standpoint, it's a drain. Even with, you know, the excitement that LaRue brought. And also, you know, there's a lot going on for me. Running a big company like this is making it hard to focus on the music and recording, you know, merch and touring and everything.
What about DKR?
DKR falls under the Dakar brand, so Dakar, DKR is temporarily and I think probably permanently shelved. We are disbanded. This is the end of Dakar.
All right.
So according to the rules of the board of directors here, we'll have to put that to a formal vote to officially disband. And I'll begin the voting with an aye.
Aye.
Joe, it's good. It's good for the company.
You owe it to us.
Okay. But it's a majority rule, and okay. You know, that sucks. That sucks for everybody out there.
We got to cut corners. Save money.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, we can still be friends. We can still do things off the books or whatever, but I apologize. I hope you stay on the board because I love your ideas.
Just business.
Sure.
I think we're also going to probably collapse the entertainment. That's probably LaRue. Let me get that. Hello, LaRue. We're in the middle of the debt forgiveness special, and wanted to ask you to.
No, Tim, it's not LaRue, it's Greg. I'm down at the city jailhouse downtown. The LAPD have taken Mark. They arrested Mark in North Hollywood. Now he's downtown being booked on charges that I don't even understand because he wasn't doing anything wrong.
Okay.
I stepped away from the booth for about 10 minutes and I came back and they had completely dismantled it, thrown a bunch of the tapes and things into some LAPD van, and then Mark was gone. I had to get downtown to find out what was
Okay,
going
Greg.
on.
Sorry
And
to
now I
interrupt.
find that Mark's in jail.
Yeah, we're in the middle of.
Trying to get him out because I don't see that there's any legitimate charge here.
Okay.
That, you know,
Calm down. Calm down. Let's talk about this later. I'm in the middle of a meeting
I know,
right
but I
now.
also wanted to call because I was supposed to give you reviews and I was not able to be there because I'm down at the police station. I wanted to give you, at least let me give you the ratings. Frozen 2, 5 popcorn, and 21 bridges, 5 bags of popcorn, and I don't know, like a miniature.
All right.
bridge
Thank
or
you.
something.
All right. Good luck with everything there. Bye now. All right. So some more disturbing news coming there regarding our friend Mark. You know, I'm the guy here who's got some ideas. I've already given several. One of the ideas was revealing the address of Rafael Torres. I think the way I'm going to handle this is because Rafael still has the choice to end the lawsuit. I think that smart move is to hold off on giving his address right now on the air. But I will give Josh Lorton's. And what that does is send a signal to Rafael that I mean business and I'm a tough negotiator. So I have that. And this is Josh Lorton, the director of Mr. America, who sold me out, who created one of the most vicious, awful smear jobs. You saw it. It was a disgusting disgrace.
Still,
and this-
Tim, that's pretty hardball.
well, he woke the snake. So Josh's address is 2490 Princeton Circle, Apartment 3, Riverside, California, 92481.
Wow. Okay.
That's where he's living, my friends. And Raphael, yours is right here.
You're next.
You're next. So drop the suit. That clears a little bit off our plate.
We're not going to take it laying down, so you may as well cooperate with us.
Get ready for a fight, because we're coming.
And
we're, you know.
We'll be fighting back.
You said it, not me.
Does the word bankruptcy even enter into this
At
conversation?
this point, I think it's a non-starter. I don't think it's a fair conversation.
All right. I just thought maybe we could open up under another name or something. Just an idea. Just an idea.
We reached out to the good people at Money Zap, and so hopefully they're going to be paying attention, and they're going to forgive our debt there. Big positive move was disbanding Dakar, as sad as that is. That's really tightening the company. And then we're putting some money into the Exposed show, sort of investigative reporting that I'm doing with LaRue. And I've actually, this is small potato stuff, but I've made some interesting discoveries. And if we can get, people like John Stoughton, I should say, and turn the Exposed format into sort of like 60 Minutes or something like that, where you have people like John Stoughton going and investigating with Michael Matthews, exposing some of the fraud that happens in the medical community and in other places, in Money Zap. But right now, let's end with a prayer. We like to end everything with a prayer. And let us pray that the Lord on high looks over us and shields us from all the vipers and all the rats that come at us on a almost seemingly hourly basis. We have the scumbags at Money Zap who are not returning calls, and we have the rat of Daffy Raffy, who hopefully has received the shot across the bow that we've taken today, is bold action by the board, the doxing of Josh Lorton, and that hopefully that information is disseminated to the good people who understand that you do not mess with us and you do not come at us hard, and there are consequences, God, and also that the Heavenly Spirit and Jesus Christ and the Holy God Himself keeps protecting us and keeps us safe and gets us out of the red, and something clicks. Let's hope some of these ideas click. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Amen.
All right.
Pretty tough stuff. Pretty tough stuff.
No, but we made good progress today.
Yeah. Look, I got to didn't know any
Yes, but you
real
did
stuff.
Joe,
build
you
a
should have said that
company.
you were not experienced. You should have turned
You
down.
should have turned it
the
over to
You
somebody
should have turned
else,
down
Joe.
the
I did learn
opportunity.
some things.
I think we should talk about you potentially resigning from the board. I didn't want to do it on the show, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can talk.
hi everybody. Welcome to our season finale of On Cinema at the Cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker, and it's been a busy week. It's been a lot to get through. First of all, I've obviously sustained an injury, which we'll get into detail later. I'm so lucky to be alive. I had an incident with one of my firearms that accidentally deployed, and that happened on Sunday night. And just was very scary for both of us. And the good news is, the sort of positive thing that happened to me is that on Saturday night, Tony and I got married. We just got married, and we'll show the pictures now. We have some nice pictures from the event. And, after the past few weeks, listen, I think people out there know or suspected or could kind of use their common sense and can understand that, you know, Tony and I have been in a relationship for, can you stop eating popcorn? I'm having a conversation, almost a fireside chat with the audience.
You can't hear it.
I can hear it.
But they can't hear it.
Tony and I have had a, you know, romantic relationship for several months now, and we've not made a big deal about it. But it's been a real, you know, thing in my life. And, you know, mixing business and pleasure is always a dangerous game, but, you know, we're both adults. And I think when we were faced with the reality of the situation, where we were at as a company, you know, there's certain sort of advantages to the union being more official. And when we were together, it didn't matter. It didn't feel like you needed me to, you know, get down on my knees and propose and all that stuff and have that kind of classic wedding. But there were, you know, real realities to the formalization through the civic, in the civic sense, and sort of the tax code and everything, and property rights. That made it really a smart move, I think, for the company and for us, because it's sort of like we were married anyways. We're going to see the movies. We saw Charlie's Angels together and everything else. So we have been together. It's not something I talked about publicly, but I am here to tell you publicly now that we are very happy. And, you know.
And also,
and let me just,
Tim,
excuse me.
One moment.
We're going to get to the movies, don't worry. We want to.
It's not about the movies.
I want to just give a little warning, you know, and sort of a little advice about gun safety. Yeah, because so just to paint the timeline here, Saturday, earlier that last week, we decided we made the decision to get married, transfer of ownership of certain things, but
Sharing my house and all of that.
right.
Getting you,
Getting me in, and so, but we had a really nice Saturday where we went down to the courthouse, got married, had a nice dinner. The next day, I was moving my stuff in, and I was in the basement. And I had my cachet of weapons and everything that
you
I've been
know how
collecting.
I
And she does
feel
not like that.
about
She does
weapons
not like
in my
that in the
home.
house, which makes this totally, you know, doubly ironic that this happened. But
I'm glad it didn't happen on the set of the show.
no, and so what happened was I brought this with me. This isn't even my gun. This is something I was borrowing
Oh,
from.
Tim,
Sorry,
be
this is something I
careful
was
with the
borrowing
gun.
from Michael, who lets me play around with these. Well,
Don't-
do what I no. I'm not doing what I.
Tim, it might be loaded. Would
It's
you-
not loaded.
Well,
What
wait.
I was doing was
Oh my
cleaning
God.
it, which is what you have to do. You know, I had the pipe cleaner and everything.
Don't
So
put that in your face again, please.
this is for everyone's benefit. I am trying to show you what happened was I was doing what you do is you have to see this
Just
jams.
put the thing in the
Careful
case.
with that.
You know,
Point
sometimes
that.
it could.
Just come on.
I'm cleaning the gun. You almost have to look at it from down the barrel to be able to get in there with the steel wool and the pipe cleaners.
I
You
don't
got to
think
keep your.
skilled enough to even be holding this gun right now.
So
put it
I'm,
away.
I'm giving an example of what you're not
Okay.
supposed to do. So
All right.
Whatever happened, I don't know what happened. Something happened where my finger got down, gun went off, and it must have gone
Oh,
like that.
Tim.
And grazed my neck. You know, and
And it could have killed you,
it
Tim.
absolutely could. An inch, and it would have gotten my jugular. I would have
Lucky.
bled out
well,
in 30
you
seconds.
bled all over the floor. So.
Well, it did cut me badly. You know, I had a bad cut.
Yeah.
And don't
covered,
touch
yeah,
it. And
please.
I fell back, banged my head. I had a slight concussion. I was in the hospital. You know, you come running down because
I know.
you
I
heard
had to
this big bomb,
find
you
you
know,
in the blood
and you thought I'd
on the floor.
killed myself. But no, it was very
yeah.
scary because I don't know what happened.
Why are you doing
And
it again?
I'm not
put
doing
it
it again.
away.
That's why it's important is never clean your gun until you've done a good safety check. You just make sure that there's nothing. You do it if you have to do it. Okay,
oh
so there's
my
a.
God, Tim!
See,
You said you de-shelled it.
no, this.
Okay,
See,
we
that
need to.
is very dangerous. If I, we could have.
He could have just blown his head off.
Like in The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Just
I'm not even going
let's.
to put this back in the
No.
gun. That's how serious
No.
that is. So you can just throw that anywhere. But seriously,
Just
really
put the gun
scary.
away, so we can talk about movies without fear.
Well, there's
being
nothing
shot.
in here. Look, you
It
can
might
tell.
be in the.
So
It might be further up.
no, it's a little hard
Tim,
to tell. No, I'm.
You're gonna blow your head off. It's
Well,
not worth
just
it.
put it away so we can
Please,
let's review some
put the
movies.
gun away.
Nobody
Okay.
ever got
All right.
killed reviewing
You have
movies.
to calm down
so-
about this stuff, okay?
Okay,
Because-
honey. All right. I don't want the guns in my house.
Well, we'll discuss that at some other point.
Speaking
will.
of dangerous situations, Tim.
Yeah, let's get to the movies.
No, I just wanted to mention.
Knives Out, sorry.
I just wanted to give an update about our friend Mark.
Okay.
The LAPD, I finally found out what it was that they arrested Mark for, and it's complete BS, which is that they're claiming that we were selling bootleg copies of intellectual property, when in fact, as I told the desk sergeant, that if you look up on public
Right.
domain movies on Wikipedia, what is one of the first ones that comes up is A Star is Born. All right? Anybody can do this, and I wish you would, and tell the LAPD that you've done this. Look at list of public domain movies. Star is Born is on the list. And so
Not the
in
new
good
one, though.
faith,
Not the new one.
well, it would be a blanket license for all the titles. Once the title is in the public domain, then the series is in the public domain. So
that
in
doesn't
good,
make sense.
So I have a call in to Bradley Cooper from The Hangover, Hangover 2. I have a call in to Chris Christopherson. I'm trying to get somebody to back me up here, but the fact is that series is public domain. And I told the police that. I printed this stuff out. It's not just on Wikipedia. There's also other websites that list public domain movies. We looked over this stuff very carefully before we put the 4-pack together. You'd think a police station would have the resources to have Wikipedia, but because they don't, then Mark ends up in jail for something that he's completely innocent of and gets beaten into a coma by a bunch of, drug addict assholes that are in the same cell as his. So he's in the hospital.
Okay. I think you just buried the lead a little bit there. What happened with Mark in prison? Because that sounds a little more urgent than your
He's in prison for
copyright
something he
stuff.
did nothing wrong.
I know, but you're saying
Star is Born is public
in,
domain.
You're saying he was assaulted in
All 4 movies fall
county
under the
jail?
same public domain.
Don't forget the copyright stuff. What happened to Mark?
Mark got beaten up by some drug addicts or something. So he's in a coma at LA General Hospital.
Oh, boy.
Because the police officers don't have the time before they go out and arrest people to just type in Star is Born public domain
All right, well,
and see if that's true. Well, it is in the public domain.
Oh, it's terrible news, and
too
thoughts
bad.
and prayers going out to Mark Proch.
And if anyone has any contact information for any of the stars of A Star is Born, I feel like that those people would not want this movie to be silenced. And in fact, the mail orders for that have been through the roof. And we sold quite a few of them at the North Hollywood market. And I'm showing this to the police officer. I'm printing out every single website that lists public domain movies. Star is Born's at the top of the list. So these guys don't know anything.
Terrible news about Mark. Let's get to the reviews. I'll be honest with you, it might not surprise you to find out that we haven't had a chance to see these movies.
Too busy with life.
Too busy with life. And it
Busy
comes at you
emailing
fast.
people that are saying, where's
Yeah.
my Star is Born 4-pack?
Right. So you have not seen Knives Out.
No, but I will see it. I'm
And-
going to see it this week.
And Queen and Slim.
I'm going to see it tonight.
see that either.
I'm going
So
to
we
see that
didn't-
tonight. I'll see it
No
tonight.
reviews this week. Everyone go do your own reviews.
Well, don't do that. Just wait and I'll post the reviews of those movies online on Twitter, or I'm setting up an Our Cinema website at some point. So we'll catch up with all the movies that we missed. I mean, I want to see it, but I've got to deal with this other stuff because now they're coming after me. Because I've been the one down at the police station arguing with them about this. I printed out the whole public domain movie list from Wikipedia, which says clearly A Star
I
is
understand.
Born.
And give Mark my best. Let's end with a
Yes.
prayer. Holy Father, Lord God, Jesus Christ, thank you so much for saving my life.
Praise
Not only
God.
bringing Tony in, but also blessing me with the grace and almost through your own hand moving the weapon as it laid on my lap, reminding me of your good grace and the gratitude I have for you. Praise you. Thank you, Jesus, for moving that.
Saving my husband.
For keeping the bullet out of my chin and my skull. And in a lot of ways, prayers for our friend Mark Porch, who is suffering right now, and hopefully he's at peace. And hopefully that truth will lead the way and answers to his previous coma, his previous condition.
This is very different.
Are given the light of day. and that the truth will, sunlight will shine on the truth, and we will expose criminals for their evil deeds.
Such as people
Amen.
that call the police a copyright infringement,
Amen.
which isn't actually copyright infringement at all, but which is somebody trying to start a business and legitimately releasing classic movies on film.
All right, we'll see you next season. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I've got to change this dressing because it's starting to become very irritating.
Do you guys want to go see one of these films
No,
tonight?
let's go change the
Yes, I'll help
dressing
you, Tim.
because I can't.
Yeah,
We're
just
not
bring
going to
this.
have time tonight, I'm sorry.
Okay, you don't speak with him.
Yes. Sorry. You all right?
No.
All right.